Hi, Mike Gibson, Samir Parikh, and we're talking about the exciting new developments in xenotransplantation for renal insufficiency. Really fascinating. A lot of the work being done here in Boston. Samir, talk to us a little bit about the who, what, when, where, and whys of this.
Yeah, so look, xenotransplantation has been on the horizon for solid organ transplant probably for 40 years, right? And if you look over the last couple of years, we've had a series of milestones that have been achieved with pig kidneys going into humans, starting first with a brain dead recipient, and the pig kidney was kind of monitored for a few days. And more recently, just in the last year, the first patient receiving a pig kidney walking out of the hospital with this, and now a second patient at the same institution, Mass General Hospital, who's received a pig kidney and walking out. So we are quickly crashing through some of those milestones and barriers that have long been the promise in xenotransplantation and are slowly now, I mean, not so slowly, becoming reality in our field. So how has this happened, right? I mean, what's been the big change? And I think the big change that we're talking about here is the ability to go in and genetically engineer or organisms like the pig. Why the pig? The pig is sort of physiologically like the human, similar weight, kidneys are similar size. And so we do a lot of other pig to human stuff, right? I mean, Mike, you know this. Valves are an example of a technology that's been pig to human for a long time. But the real transformation here has been genome editing, CRISPR, and the ability to start working on those specific genes that provoke that hyperacute rejection that had long been one of the major barriers for pig to human solid organ transplantation. And so we have scientists figuring out which genes those are, encoding which proteins, triggering which kind of immune reaction, and sequentially engineering those changes into the pig. And so we're really approaching an arena where we can start thinking about the pig kidney and using our conventional immunosuppressive medications to see how long we can sustain the pig to human kidney transplant. Really exciting stuff.
So when you talk about those gene engineering techniques, is this one pig grown specifically for a patient, or are we making modifications to all the pigs to work in all the patients?
Yeah, that is a great question, Mike. And I think it's really the latter right now. The barrier that the field is trying to overcome right now is, what is it about a different organism that immunologically gets recognized by all humans as foreign and then
Mhm.
creates that immunological attack? And so what's happening now with the in the pig solid organ field is really trying to engineer those genes that lead to interspecies recognition. So we're not yet at the point, I don't think, of trying to tailor an individual pig to an individual human. But we don't know what the cap is on these kinds of genome editing technologies. And so who knows what awaits us in the future. I think
So
we, yeah,
we're editing them in general right now, just for cross species
that's right.
acceptability. But maybe is it possible in the future you could take a mature pig? Can we take a mature pig, not growing up from birth, but a mature pig, and can we do gene editing to make it compatible with that specific patient?
Yeah, I mean that is a great science question. The gene editing that's done right now on pigs is at birth.
At birth.
So we have a sense of what are those genes that speak to the cross-species barrier, and we can try, the field can try to address those. Whether that engineering is possible in an adult pig to sort of adapt it to the immune system of an individual, of a specific individual, I think that's a much bigger technical barrier. But flip that around and ask the sort of opposite question. If you can overcome those general species barriers, do we have the right medicines around today in 2025 so that that kidney can last a long time, or that heart can last a long time, or those lungs can last a long time. I think those medicines are here, right? And
That's
there are ways that we can treat the recipient to potentially make them even more receptive to receiving a cross-species organ.
And I'm so naive here. How long does it take to raise a pig to be big enough for a transplant? I mean, I'm just asking the questions I know our audience wants to know.
Yeah, I mean, there are these. I have not had the pleasure of visiting these farms where you have science and nature coming together. These pigs are being raised on these farms. One of the technologies involves putting a bit of the thymus of the pig under the kidney capsule. And it's thought that that thymokidney, the thymus part of the kidney, kind of coaches the immune system. Remember, we had to learn in medical school about how the thymus does positive and negative selection for T cells. So it's thought that the thymo part of the thymokidney can do a little bit of coaching, if you will, of the immune system locally. And so, you're talking about getting to an adult pig, right? And you're talking about having to have a surgery in the middle to kind of create this hybrid organ inside the pig up front. So it is a big investment, but the payoff is huge, right? So
Yeah.
right now, what is the status? We do approximately 13 or 14,000 kidney transplants a year. Three-quarters of the people on the wait list, if not more, are not getting kidneys,
Mm,
are not getting kidneys. And
mm,
we know from terrific research that was conducted, more than 20 years ago, that getting a transplant leads to a better outcome than staying on dialysis,
mm.
longer survival, and a number of patient-centered outcomes, as you might imagine. Quality of life improving with a transplant. And so we have a massive shortage right now. And we continue to work on ways at the margins to affect all of this, but we haven't had a transformation in the field, and part of that has been organ availability, really good organs. So I'm excited. I think the skeptics in our field have looked at xenotransplantation as, hey, it's always been promised, it's always been on the horizon. But I do think now we are breaking through a series of barriers that have long kind of bedeviled the field.
You're just such a great educator, Samir. Thanks for sharing with us, breaking it down in a way that an interventional cardiologist like me can understand. I appreciate it. Thanks for joining us, and thanks to all of you for joining us.
Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thanks to your audience as well.
Thanks.